full-force recovery right now, but there is one sector that appears to be going full throttle, as Michelle pointed out earlier, and that is autos. For more on that, we're going to turn to Craig Mauro. He's in Chicago tonight.
That's right, Mike. It was the best year for car sales in the United States since 2007. That's before the financial crisis and the recession nearly drove two of the largest manufacturers in this country, that's Chrysler and General Motors, to the brink of bankruptcy. Now, all three American car manufacturers, as well as most of the imported brands on Thursday, reported strong sales numbers for the year that just finished. Total sales are expected to top 14.5 million units for 2012, the third year in a row of overall growth of more than 10%. Of the three American manufacturers, Chrysler led the pack, with 21% growth compared to 2011. Ford and General Motors were not as stellar, but still turned in respectable increases.
The macro stuff that GM and Ford can't control is, the gradual improvement in auto sales. But then internally, you keep making yourself more efficient too. So it's really, what I tell investors, it's really a couple things coming together at really the right time.
The Michigan-based manufacturers have successfully turned themselves around since the financial crisis, streamlining their operations and offering several new models oriented towards changing consumers.
One thing you're seeing is, your General Motors and Ford, they were never heavily into the compact business, the small car business. They kind of let that business maybe go to the imports. Well, they've changed their mind, I think, because I think there's a lot of demand for those small cars.
Like the manufacturers, Edelson expects more good news for sales in 2013. GM, the world's largest automaker, had a relatively slow year but a strong last couple of months, while Chrysler has posted 33 consecutive months of year-over-year sales growth. Now, General Motors said in its statements on Thursday that it expects U.S. car consumers to purchase between 15 million and 15.5 million units this year in 2013. Now, that would be yet another year, fourth year in a row of strong sales growth, but it still wouldn't be at the point where the car industry here was before the recession hit, when it was at about 17 million units a year. Mike?
Well, Craig, Michelle put me on the spot, so I'll do the same to you. Did you buy a car this last year?
You know what, I did actually at the beginning of 2012. I bought
well, there
a car.
you go. Well, you're helping with it. What are some of the other factors driving these sales numbers higher? Because it's not just Craig Mauro. We know that.
Yeah, and well, some of the factors I'm about to list probably didn't apply to my case, but I mean, obviously we have the incremental improvements in the economy and in consumer confidence. There's obviously also very good credit environment right now. Interest rates are low for car loans, and as I mentioned there in that report, the manufacturers have been improving their game and their selections. Also on the import side, a lot of the cars sold in the U.S. are imported or made by foreign manufacturers in the United States, but the Japanese manufacturers in 2011 were hit. Their supply chain was hit hard by the tsunami and earthquake, and they recovered their sales and some of their market share in 2012. And then another big factor is that the average age of cars on the road in the United States is at the highest it's been in decades. People have been holding on to their cars here. The tough economic times in recent years has led them to maybe hold on to them a little longer, but now with some slight improvements coming and some other factors coming, people are buying more cars. It wasn't the case in my case. I didn't have a car before that, but that's a long story.
Thanks anyway. Craig Mauro reporting from Chicago tonight. Thank you so much.